in this episode, we only have one rule. Ranged units only in our army, and let's bring forth all challengers. But it's strange, they're just gonna evidently continue to try to siege down this city here. They're not really making any progress, and I'm about fucking sick of these Sturgians doing this shit here. This is obviously a much larger force than I wanted to tackle at this stage of this series, but we may do so. This continues our Archer only series, and to that effect, I'm purging our army of all these infantrymen. Now, these are not infantrymen from my army. These are from companions. My companions have a naughty habit of going out and recruiting infantrymen, and they forget the ground rules of this series. This is an archer-only challenge. All 4 of our armies in this series, in this sub-series, have archer-only armies. In fact, you can take a close look here. We are starting to upgrade, and we are starting to have a nice, powerful mix of archers. Now, I'm moving these shield guys up in the order because I want them to pop into battle first. I need more quasi infantry in this challenge, otherwise you just get butchered. We're still upgrading troops. It'll be a little while before we're sort of maxed out. But after tackling this Sturgian force here, we're going to head to Valandian territory. I need some shield walls. I need some sharpshooters. So that reminds me, I've got a couple of upgrades I can do here on some of our companions. A lot of our companions have very low bow skill, but they're getting better. And look at this, a large bag of piercing arrows. Piercing arrows are the highest quality arrows in the game. But look at this, deep inside my inventory, I have legendary step arrows. And look at that, there's more arrows in the bag, and they do more damage. So don't neglect, the lower tiered bows and arrows. They can be very effective under the right circumstances. This guy also, we can upgrade his crossbow. Where's this shit at? Look at this shit. A masterwork bound crossbow, right? This thing is nasty. This guy doesn't have very high skill, but between that and look at this, legendary heavy bolts, right? These are the best 2 crossbow and bolts basically you could give a guy, or at least very close to. Now this Sturgian force, I'm concerned, right? Not only is it almost triple our size, but there's a huge amount of infantry and cavalry. And cavalry is the major problem. Infantry we can destroy. We'll kite, we'll bracket in, we'll surround and destroy. But cavalry presents a much bigger threat. So this is going to be an extremely difficult battle. I didn't really want to have huge battles early in this series, especially before we were fully upgraded and a lot of our companions were upgraded. But we're going to give this a shot here. And this battlefield is friendly to our strategy here. So normally I would charge this ridge, hold him up there and shoot him to pieces with a kill box, but I don't think we can reach that ridge. We have no speed, right? I don't have any cavalry besides myself. Now, deeper in this valley, there's nooks and crannies where we can position archers where they will be deadly, and the enemy will have to attack, one of our archer divisions, and not all of them. Won't be able to attack all. That's why we have 5 archer divisions. Now, the first and second, these are what I consider quasi-infantry crossbow divisions, right? They have shields, and so I can square them, I can shield wall, and of course they can attack. Now, all of our units, of course, can attack. You see Zuvan here with his stacked skills is definitely going to help leading the 6th. So my plan here is to bottle up that left side, position 2 groups over on that side, 1 unit on the right over here, and then we will use squares with the 1st and 2nd division intermittently. Now, don't worry, I'm not charging here. I just wanted my units to get into position as quick as possible, right? We want to get them standing still so they can start shooting as fast as they can. Now, so 4th and 5th archers over here with the second archers crossbow to give them a little bit of anchor of defense. The 6th in a wide brim across the top there, and that's the 1st. What's this fucking guy doing? Are you the scout? Fucking dipshit. They keep sending 1 scout, 1 noble guy to get mowed down. Look at this guy charging in a bathrobe. All right, so here comes the heavy cav, and what I'm going to do here is basically like I've done in a couple of the other episodes. Well, I didn't mean to get off my horse. I'm going to stand in the way of these guys and basically say, neener, neener, come get me, motherfuckers, because I want them attacking me. This is what I don't want. I don't want the enemy heavy cav just barreling in. Now, they're already storming at the second cav, or the first cav there, so we'll square those guys. The second cav, or the second archers over here, crossbow, are doing better, right? That little wall is giving them a little bit of protection. But this is a problem, right? We have a massive amount of heavy horse coming in on us. And what I want to do is I want to dismount riders, jam up locations as much as I possibly can, especially right here, and create a traffic jam, right? Where they can't move very well and they're getting shot. Most experienced Bannerlord players know the easiest way to get killed in Bannerlord on a horse is to be in a static position. Right? Once you get held up and stuck on something, enemy troops or whatever, you get shot to pieces. So we're going to start kiting over here with the 4th and 5th. The 6th is on the other side. I've already squared that 2nd, but I'm going to intermittently pull these guys in and out of squares. And we're not just going to leave squares standing still, right? We're going to have them moving around. You know, it's going to be hard for the enemy to destroy these squares because they have bonuses that make them tougher than normal, right? They have decreased melee attack damage banners, and also they're going to be moving. So it's a mess right now. This is what I anticipated. Their cavalry is making it a nightmare for me, but we're kiting. Our units are getting moved back, and that's going to save us from a lot of their arrow range or arrow damage. And right here, look at this ridge. The enemy can't even hit us over here, right? So we'll pull the 2nd over there. The 6th gets pulled in behind them to start shooting, and the kiting game is on, right? And we're doing massive damage by kiting. I mean, every time our guys stand still and shoot, every single horseman gets shot off his horse. And the key to this whole battle will be disabling a lot of their horsemen early on. So 4th and 5th again on this side. I'm going to continue to kite. They do have an infantry vanguard coming. Get the fuck out of my way, rock. I hate it when rocks get in my way. Fucking earth. You need some TNT. Blow up some rocks here. All right, so these guys over here are actually protected, so they can be spread out. Over here, though, we're going to use this square as a sacrifice. I think we got to have one square basically take it for the rest of us. You can see these guys have brilliant position over here. In fact, I'm going to join them in spirit on foot. You know, I'm not going to ride a horse the whole battle in this archer series. Now that that's the 2nd infantry. We're going to push them away from all of our units in a square, and what that's going to do, hopefully, is draw all these infantrymen towards them. In fact, they're roaring and charging, which is precisely what we want them to do, right? They're taking the bait. We're strafing these guys over here with savage, I just realized too, it's flaming fucking arrow fest here today. And they are indeed. They are absolutely swarming the square. We're going to pick off some archers here kind of on the margins of this battle, and we're going to push the square opposite of all of our troops. What that does, of course, is it gives the enemy a terrible dilemma. They either have to force attack that square, and they're not going to be able to do a lot to it, or they have to charge our other units, in which case I'll just spread that square and have those guys start shooting on them as well. They're in a bad spot here. Their infantry, now that they've lost their cav support, is fucked. So they mauled the square a little bit, but now it looks like they're peeling back, either disconcerted about being lit on fire by hundreds of flame arrows, whatever the reason, they're starting to peel back. But these guys are in the maelstrom, and they can't get out of this. Obviously, you can see we've got them surrounded. In fact, let's see what we got. Okay, over there, those guys are actually being shot by the enemy archers, so let's put them in a line. These guys are okay. Let's put them in a line and have them shield wall and face the enemy archers. And what that'll do is prevent the enemy archers from shooting a lot of our other troops, right? Just because they'll be targeting those guys standing closer to them. Now these guys down here can be told to charge. Charge. Hold fire. That way all of those guys pour forward to attack this weakened infantry force. We'll shoot a few of these guys in the back. But frankly, they had no chance, right? They got lit on fire and torched. All right, let's hold fire here and spread out units, because you know there are more waves coming, right? 2,400 fucking enemies. But we have this ridge here, as long as I can avoid being spitted. This ridge is going to really help us. You see how as soon as they come over that ridge, they're smoked? We're going to use this, right? I can square the 6th too. We'll pull these guys back. Now this side shifts to being the defensive one of our units. All this heavy cav is charging in here, and they're doing damage, right? These guys are spearing guys left and right, but the square is going to give us a higher degree of survivability. These guys standing tight together. We're going to continue to kite, of course, but these guys... What do we got going on over here? So there's one guy left in that division. Let's keep kiting here with the 4th and 5th. The 6th, I'm just moving back in a square to absorb the brunt of this cav charge. And I do have the 1st infantry. I guess they can just be told to confront the enemy. I don't actually need them, and it'd be nice if a few guys here slow down the enemy archers. Enemy archers, of course, are a problem for us, right? Archers will definitely kill your archers fast. Now we have to engage basically in a ranged battle. Fortunately, every single unit in our army is a ranged unit, right? So we're very eager to engage in a ranged battle. The 6th is told to stand still and start lighting these fucks up. I got cav back here. That's a problem still. The enemy still has a lot of troops, right? I mean, we're badly outnumbered. But I think we can win this with this artillery exchange. We should get reinforcements soon, too. I don't think I've seen any yet. Of course, you could shoot these guys in the feet, right? They're holding their shield up. Just aim for their feet. Doesn't always work, but a lot of times it'll go right underneath their shield. Let's get this 6 backed up further. I can't have this strong division annihilated here. The enemy's now starting to gain the advantage. They're really pounding us with arrows. The death spam is starting to light up, but I can help our guys here and club a lot of these guys. And we should get reinforcements eventually. Oh, I'm in trouble. All right, we got to get the fucking weave through here. I need a horse. My kingdom for a horse. Thank you very much. We ride the fuck out of that danger. All right, let's try to recover our wits here. It does look ugly, but we're okay. In fact, here comes a massive wave of reinforcements. Let's pull over this ridge. Let's square that division over there. I don't even know what division that is. Doesn't matter. Let's spread these guys out in different arcs. You see how those guys are protected up there? Let's split this giant division, right? This is way too many guys for one division. Let's put the 7th, and then we'll put the 7th way at the top of the hill, right? Those guys can basically be firing down on all of the other enemies and start to form an arc back here with our different archer divisions. Over here, this little ridge here, I identified this early in the battle, before this battle started, right? In the pre-battle menu. This little ridge here is going to allow us to shoot around the corner on the enemy here. I'm going to have to just attack these guys. I'm going to wade in here with my 2-handed hammer, and we're going to fucking mangle this infantry, this insolent fuck infantry attacking our archers. Fuck you guys, right? They get a these guys bit off more than they can chew. We're going to clean up the scraps here, and then these guys can be, again, told to fire, right? Back them off, tell them to fire. And actually, a lot of them are still charging. That means they're out of ammo, right? This was an inevitability in this kind of battle. What? These guys have been... Oh, shit. Keep your head down, boys. We're getting lit on fire. This is not tenable. We're going to have to back these guys up into one of these little nooks and crannies. Of course, it's telling them to charge because there's one cavalry officer there. They back them underneath this ridge, then they won't take such withering fire. I'm getting smoked. But... it's sacrificial. The other side, I see tons of fire arrows raining down from our units over there. They're smoking everything in sight, and we're just going to try to take cover here, right? Where the unit, obviously the enemy is targeting. I've got this division here, and there's a lot of crossbow in that. I might even charge with that division. And we're fine with the ranged battle, right? We're okay as long as the enemy doesn't have infantry. You can see my archery leaves a lot to be desired, right? I definitely need a lot of work. Sometimes, these shields, they cover the whole person. But we like this, right? An archer duel in this situation is perfect for us. Our guys are beautifully positioned. They are coming in a shield wall. These are crossbow doing the same thing our units are doing, right? They're coming up in shield wall. I don't know why I'm bothering with these sad arrow attempts. Let's just get in here and blast them with this hammer. Now let's continue to kite, right? I've got these units here. That's a crossbow division. These guys can actually be moved forward as bait/shield wall, right? We're going to have to basically alternate who's playing the role-playing infantry here, right? We just don't have any infantry. So these guys are going to move forward in a square, try to attract attention. On this side, I have the 6th Corps charging with me. I'm going to help these guys, and we're going to keep that last archer division being our main death factory, right? You can see the arrows still flaming down. We're going to pour in here with Battanian Fiend Champs and whatnot. We are fighting middle tier infantry now. That's a huge advantage. And of course, my hammer is a huge advantage, right? Especially guys that are not paying attention. It's obliteration time. In fact, it's time to wade in on these fucking piece of shit skirmishers. Get off. You guys can all get some. That crossbow division can be told to charge. Let's just send all those guys in. In fact, all of these guys could charge because with that unit up there firing down, we want to actually distract them and charge and basically make an infantry press here. I've got plenty of attention myself. These guys have no chance against my hammer, right? Just absolute fodder. That guy was all bloody from being smashed already. Let's clean these guys up here and we can set this up for the rest of this battle. This is a beautiful setup. Again, I continue to divide my divisions. I've hesitated to do that in some of my other campaigns just because it does sort of break the game immersion a little bit. I'm not going to be doing that in my main campaign. Let's charge these motherfuckers. Let's clean all these guys up here. They got some insolent archers in here in our midst. We outnumber them. Let's barrel through here and teach these teach these guys a lesson. These guys that fucking their faces on fire and shit. These guys are just getting smoked. Help! They're gonna start routing soon. All right, I've got a beautiful command position here. Let's start spreading out our units because the enemy continues to pour in, right? This is a Sturgian force. They're gonna have a massive amount of shield infantry, and now we're gonna start setting up our next diabolical crossfire here. My units are kind of confused here. Some seem to be on fire, some are not, so just kind of cleaning that up. And now we're gonna essentially split our archer divisions, kite them back, and try to give the enemy some nasty crossfire here. All right, so the 5th, 6th is over here. Let's move the 6th to the far side. The enemy's bringing in cav again, but these are no longer the ferocious banner knights and whatnot of that first wave, right? These guys are fodder. My hammer makes mincemeat out of horses like that. They have a huge amount of troops, but we can keep kiting. You see they're really drawn to this side, so we kite. Whatever they're drawn to, you kite. Motherfucking horsemen coming in for me. I'm going to jump this horse just for a bit, just to position some of these troops. I'm trying not to abuse this. There aren't really any hardened rules to this series, right? It's not like if I break the rules, one of you guys is going to complain. You're just here for archer tactics and huge battles. But I am trying to be sort of a purist with this challenge, right? We're not going to be, I'm not going to run around with horse archers and sneak some other units in. In fact, I'll get off a horse here again and join my men on the ground. It's a lot more fun for me too. I love being on the ground, just wading in with my troops, smashing these guys to pieces with my hammer, doing the spinning fucking whirly gig. Okay, another huge amount of reinforcements. Let's bring these guys up to the front. They can be told to spread. Get the fuck out of here. In fact, I'll take your shield. Since you're dead, can I take your stuff? Let's charge on this side over here. It's a mess right now, but that's because the enemy has so many troops up here. And they're only tier 3 units, but if you have fucking 500 tier 3 units, they'll still fuck you up. Their poor horsemen are getting smoked. Anybody here? That guy went up flying. Anybody here who doesn't have ammo will charge. We give them the charge command. Of course, we can whip out our bow here. Now that my health is really low, we can do a little strafing of the enemy here. You got to keep moving, right? You just take a step and then you shoot. Take a step, then you shoot, and that prevents anybody from drawing a bead on you. And our units at this stage, we still have high-level troops. Of course, our army is not all high-level troops. We're not even near upgraded. I mean, eventually we'll have like 200 Battanian Fiend Champs. Now that's going to be fun. But we've got like 50 Battanian Fiend Champs, and a few of them are still alive from that first wave, right? These guys right here next to me, we're going to be charging here. I'm trying to get these guys out of harm's way. And what I'm doing here is it's a square, right? We're playing the distractionary role over here. I'm basically trying to press our units way up here so that all our other archers get crossfire. Right? I've got one division over there heading to the top of that hill, and then the other division is just going to be kiting. I still got a companion here. She's wailing away with her axe. I love it. I've got my hammer just flailing away. Guys are getting smoked. And now these archers, look at those guys up top there. That's going to be devastating. In fact, we'll put these units opposite of them. Whoops. A huge amount of reinforcements just bubble in on the enemy. Charge, right? These guys are right in the face of the enemy. We want all of them aggressively just charging in here. And this enemy force is fucked. I mean, just flaming arrow city. And it's low level. I mean, these poor bastards. No chance. They're just getting they're just getting carved to pieces. And they finally started to rout. I can't believe they took this long to rout. That's it. The enemy's dead. Actually, they're not. They're still sending in forces here. This infantry, so these guys finally killed that stoic 6th division. You know, fortunately, we have decent enough medicine skills that we won't suffer calamitous losses in this series. My character is primarily a combat character, but he has enough leadership, medicine skill, etc., that you know, he's not just a dead loss when it comes to the other skills. All right, let's conserve air. Let's bring these guys up in a big long line. It actually does look like another big press, but it's not that many troops. This is just lambs to the slaughter here. No idea why these troops are still coming in. Maybe the AI looks at it and says, well, they don't have any infantry. Charge, right? But it doesn't matter, right? These guys have absolutely no chance. Love to position these guys on this ridge in time for them to shoot, but it doesn't look like it's really going to be a thing. I'm doing this mostly just to reduce losses so we can get more upgrades, right? I'd love these archers to fire and get some good damage in. They got fucking bad haircutted recruits coming up to try to attack me. Get the fuck out of here. Oops, these guys got too close, so these guys can charge. Fortunately, they're more than capable of destroying this motley fucking reinforcement wave. The screen lights up in green as woodsmen and recruits get butchered. It's just a flaming death factory for these units. Now, we could move these guys back in a square and just let the other side eat, but I probably don't even need to do that, right? At this stage, this battle is completely over. We might even have another reinforcement wave still. 2,300 Sturgians here fucking obliterated into the ground. These guys are getting strafed. Get out of here with your javelins. Teach you guys how to show javelins. And that is that. All right. I can't believe they're not routing. All right, here it goes. The last handful of guys. You know what? We're going to mow all these guys down. Let's see. I don't have a horse, but these guys are shooting. Look at this. Shit, these guys they're playing pass. They're just passing these arrows forward to me. Thanks, fellas. Fire a few more at my feet here so that I can mow this enemy down, shoot him in the back. This fucking disgraceful Sturgian force just would refuse to siege this city of ours. I was waiting for them to siege so that we could get help from the garrison. But I guess in the spirit of this episode, this is almost better because then it's all archers, right? We have no assistance from any of the other kingdoms, right? We don't have any infantry in this battle, I guess, unless you consider myself infantry here. I'm gonna ride these guys down here. No one escapes today. The sun is coming up over the hills. It's a fucking beautiful morning. And we're going to extract a little blood vengeance here. Now, originally my character was a Sturgian, right? So it's not like I hate the Sturgians. But in my campaign, they repeatedly, in my deathmatch campaign, they repeatedly fucking attacked me when I was fucking vulnerable. Get back. Fucking shoot you in your calf. Pound him into the ground. So they repeatedly attacked me when I was vulnerable. In other words, they were sort of neutral and then attacked me when I was vulnerable. And eventually we just said, fuck it. We're all out war with them. We're going to pound them into the ground here too. So very, very strong success here, right? We did end up with our last wave on the battlefield, 250 survivors, lots and lots of upgrades, of course. But considering the force we faced, 2,300 plus cab plus infantry. Very, very happy with this result in this archer-only challenge. So we'll take some more prisoners here, right? I'm doing everything we can to sustain this archer population. Of course, we won't be taking any infantry prisoners, right? This whole series, we're going to continue to roll through the map of Calradia with this archer-only army. We're going to look for unique challenges. I'm not just going to be giving you guys fodder, the same battle over and over again. I really try to avoid a lot of redundancy on the channel. With that said, please subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of this series, this channel, more tactics in Bannerlord, or general huge battles like you just saw. Please leave comments if you want to see a specific challenge with this archers. Let me know. I do my best to fulfill requests, although I can't always do it. I appreciate you fellas. Please hit that like button. It takes a quarter second. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me over the past year. And I will see you friends next time.